Today I'm going to show you how to get started using an overlocker. My overlocker today is set up as a 4-thread overlocker. So just some really simple basics. You've got your presser foot and this little section right in here before the white plastic. This is a little cutting blade. This blade makes a lot of people slightly wary of their overlocker because they feel like they might cut a hole. And yes, if you are not careful, you may, but practice makes perfect. So let's get started with learning how to use our overlocker. So we can lift up our presser foot. So I've just got a little lever at the back. They're often at the back or sometimes the side. We're going to line up our fabric and lower our presser foot. So here I have my fabric lined up so it goes over the metal plate and extends past the foot, the presser foot, which means it also goes past the blade. This way you can see what happens as we cut off the blade. Okay. So as we go, I'm just going to pause. You can see this little arm comes up, creates the stitches, and so your overlocker will cut and finish the edges all in one go. As you come to the end, keep continuing off the edge of your fabric. Leave yourself a nice long tail of thread and cut. And now you can see we have a nice finished edge. Our stitches should be tight to the edge, not looping over or looking in any way loopy. They should just be sitting nice and flat. And the same should happen for the back. If you have any loopiness, any extra threads hanging across, it means that something isn't threaded correctly. Go back to your manual, rethread, restart again. Now, as you can see, I clearly use my overlocker quite a lot. My little bin is filled with scraps. And what you can find is if you don't wish to lift your presser foot, or perhaps you have your hands full because you're dealing with a lot of fabric, you can also just roll the fabric in. The machine's going to take it through and you can see it automatically cuts off this section. Again, nice long tail of thread and cut. Now say you didn't want such a big piece cut off. Maybe you've only got like a few mil, or you're trying to work within a seam allowance which is already there. Here on your presser foot you'll see you have a number of notches, either notched in or raised up. You also have some lines on your actual plate as well, and some also have lines across the edging here as well. What you really need to keep into mind though is if this is the blade and you want the smallest amount of fabric cut off as possible, when we line it up to the blade, we make it so that only a very small portion will go past the blade. So here you can see it's a really tiny little slither. And we just maintain by looking at where this edge of the fabric meets the presser foot. Just keep going through. Again, nice long tails of thread. A long tail of thread here means you have less issues with having to rethread your needles or having to rethread your whole machine. Super simple, easy way to get started with your overlocker. I'm going to be back later on with different overlocker tips and hints, but for now, just get used to where the blade is and the positioning of the blade in relation to cutting it off. And just like I did, use some scraps and just have a bit of a play and get used to your overlocker.